They thought marriage was hard, until their next mission was to kill each other. What happens when love and espionage collide? John and Jane Smith live in a beautiful suburban home, with matching smiles, matching cars, and a marriage teetering on the edge. From the outside, they seem like the perfect couple, but behind closed doors, things are icy. Date nights are dry, conversations are shallow. They've even forgotten the last time they were intimate. So they try counseling. A soft-spoken therapist sits across from them, asking questions that bring awkward silence. How long have you been married? 5 or 6 years? They shrug. Their answers don't match, and their eyes barely meet. But once, it wasn't like this. They met in Bogota, Colombia.
It was in Colombia.
Bogota.
Both pretending to be tourists to dodge a local police crackdown. Caught up in the moment, they decided to pose as a couple. One steamy dinner led to another. Danger made everything exciting. He said he was in construction. She said she worked in tech support.
He's in construction. He's a big-time contractor.
Their lies fit too perfectly. Within days, they were married. Fast forward to now, and the spark is gone. Or so it seems. John spends his days at Smith Engineering, a fake front for his real job. High-level assassin. Jane, too, lives a double life, running a posh tech firm as cover while executing covert hits for a rival agency. Each is a legend in their field. Each keeps a stash of hidden weapons inside their home. Neither has any clue about the other's deadly side hustle. They host dinners, smile for neighbors, even flirt at parties, acting the perfect pair. But when the lights go off, they retreat to opposite sides of the bed, each living with a stranger they once loved. John, growing suspicious, checks Jane's laptop and late-night movements. She's also been noticing odd bruises and secretive behavior, but they both dismiss it. After all, couples keep secrets, right? Then comes the twist. Each is separately assigned to eliminate the same high-value target, Benjamin the Tank Dans, a prisoner being transferred under heavy security. The job is supposed to be routine and clean, but as Jane sets up her explosives on the highway and John rolls in from the other direction, their missions violently collide. Neither recognizes the other, just a shadowy figure interfering with their hit. Shots are fired. Explosions erupt, and they both barely make it out alive. Back at home, they're bruised and rattled. Still silent, still pretending. But underneath it all, suspicion is bubbling. This time, the person who had ruined their mission felt familiar. The botched hit on the tank leaves John furious. He returns to his handler demanding answers. Someone blew up his operation and nearly took him out. Meanwhile, Jane is equally livid. A stranger derailed her precise ambush in a Jeep that just happened to know where to strike. Both want revenge. Neither knows they're after each other. John vents to his eccentric colleague, Eddie. He calls the mysterious saboteur, "some girl who wrecked my op." Eddie laughs it off, joking it's probably karma. But John's not laughing. On the other hand, Jane gets a call from her boss. "You've got 48 hours to identify who interfered, or you're out." The pressure mounts on both sides. At home, the Smiths try to act normal. Jane prepares dinner. John watches her, wary. They dance around conversation, each slipping vague hints. "Rough day at work?" "Oh, just office drama," she says. He nods, playing along. They clink wine glasses. The tension could ignite a forest fire. But then it happens. John traces a lead to a New York office linked to the mission. It's sleek, high security, and has Jane's name on the entrance. His heart sinks. So does hers when she watches security footage of him storming her ambush site in military-grade gear. They both know. Still, neither says a word. That night, dinner is quiet. Too quiet. They're sizing each other up like wolves, waiting for one to strike first. Underneath the table, Jane reaches slowly for a blade tucked into her boot. John adjusts his belt, hand resting near a concealed pistol. When Jane excuses herself from the table, John trails her. She speeds up. He follows. She bolts for the garage, jumps in her car and slams the gas. John dives out of the way just in time. The chase is on. She crashes into a fence and flees on foot. John breathes heavily, heart pounding. Back at his safe house, Eddie tells him what he's been avoiding. If she lied about her job, she could have lied about everything. Meanwhile, Jane is prepping for war. She instructs her team to sweep the house for intel. Every drawer, every hiding place. She finds his stash, weapons, blueprints, and aliases. Her heart breaks a little, then hardens. John returns home to discover his gear gone. And just like that, the last illusion is shattered. No more pretending. No more playing house. Their marriage just became the battlefield. Now that the masks are off, John and Jane Smith are no longer spouses. They're targets. John storms into Jane's office, hoping to confront her directly, but she's already one step ahead. Her team evacuates, and she vanishes without a trace. When John enters the empty office, all he finds are scorched electronics and scattered intel. Still, he knows she's expecting a fight. He's right. Jane preps for combat. Her team arms her to the teeth, and she sets a trap. Explosives wired into the elevator. John makes his move, charging into her building like it's a war zone. Jane watches him from the control room. A single press of the button, and it's over. Her finger trembles. But John doesn't flinch. He dares her to do it. She does. Boom! The elevator explodes into a fireball. Jane freezes. Did she really just kill him? Her heart sinks. She walks away, shaken, not with triumph, but regret. Then, click. A second elevator opens on a different floor. John walks out, dirty, but alive. He never trusted her tech. He never took the main lift. Later that night, Jane hides alone in a hotel room, eyes glassy. She doesn't notice him sneak in until he's standing behind her. His voice is low. I want a divorce. The silence cuts like a knife, but before either can pull a trigger, he asks her to dance. Slowly, tensely, they begin to move. It's not romantic, it's strategic. A tango of trained killers. Hands slide across hidden weapons. Footwork masks shifting weight. They disarm each other mid-step, locking eyes. Jane breaks the tension and walks out. But John knows it's not over. He follows. Outside, chaos erupts. Jane planted a bomb on him. A hotel guest screams about a ticking sound in John's coat. He finds the device and throws it just before it explodes. He calls her. His tone, calm, threatening. You tried to kill me. She answers casually. And you tried to kill me first. For John, it's no longer about missions. He just wants to know, was any of it real? Did she ever love him? Or was he just another assignment? Jane won't say. Her silence speaks volumes. They both race home, reaching it at the same time. She beats him through the front door and locks it. But John's trained for this. He slips in through the back, grabs a hidden weapon, and the showdown begins. Room to room, they destroy the house, shattering glass, toppling furniture, firing shots. Finally, they meet face to face, guns aimed point blank. Jane stares him down. Do it. But John lowers his gun. He can't. Guns raised, eyes locked. John and Jane are inches from finishing the job. But John drops his weapon first, breathes out, and says what neither could admit until now. I still love you. Jane's finger hesitates on the trigger. Her training tells her to shoot. Her heart doesn't. She lowers her gun, too. Then something incredible happens. They kiss. It's not soft or gentle, it's furious, passionate, and dangerous. It's everything they've bottled up for years, all released in one fiery moment. The war may not be over, but the battlefield just changed. Just then, neighbors knock on the door. Everything okay in there? John casually sends them away, despite the wreckage behind him. Amidst the debris of their shattered house and shredded lies, John and Jane sit down, finally honest. He admits he was ordered to kill her. She says the same. Realizing they were married, their agencies deemed them liabilities and set them on a collision course. They were never meant to survive each other. The bedroom they once shared becomes a war room. They retreat into hiding, set traps around the perimeter, and prepare for whatever or whoever comes next. Boom. The first wave of attackers hits. Their home erupts into chaos as mercenaries breach from all sides. But this time, the Smiths fight together. Moving like a unit, they cover each other, communicate without words, and take down their enemies with bone-snapping precision. John grabs a frying pan and uses it like a shield. Jane spins from behind the couch and drops two armed intruders. They're bickering in the middle of a shootout about tactics, cover positions, and who left the back door open. They're clearly having fun, but they're also clearly outnumbered. Jane pulls John into the basement. "We need a way out." He agrees, but not before tossing a timed grenade into the kitchen. Kaboom! Another wave neutralized. They escape in their neighbor's minivan, arguing the whole way. "You never liked my cooking?" she snaps. "You never cooked," he fires back. "You hired a chef." She rolls her eyes. "At least I cared enough to make it look like I cooked." For the first time in years, they're laughing. But the danger isn't over. They get a tip. Benjamin, the tank, Dan's, the man they were both assigned to kill, is still alive and under maximum security. They realize he's the key to ending this. Time to flip the game. John and Jane Smith now know the truth. They were manipulated. Benjamin the Tank Dan's wasn't just a target, he was bait. Both agencies used him to spark a war between two of their own. And now that the war is spiraling out of control, to end it, they need leverage. They need him. The plan? Simple on paper. Infiltrate a fortified black site, extract Benjamin alive, and use him to force their agencies into a standoff. In execution? Absolute madness. Jane handles recon. She hacks into the building's security system and feeds intel into John's earpiece. John? He goes in through the front because subtlety's never been his thing. He scales a wall, knocks out two guards with a metal thermos, and makes it to the inner corridor. Every door is locked and every hallway is crawling with armed security. But with Jane guiding him remotely, he reaches the holding cell. Inside, Benjamin Dan's waits, calm, almost smug. "You're late," he says. John cuffs him. "You're welcome." They escape through an underground maintenance tunnel. Outside, Jane's waiting in a stolen utility van. Benjamin finally speaks up as they drive off, dropping a bombshell neither of them has seen coming. "You know," he says casually, "you were both never meant to survive." They freeze. He explains that both agencies discovered the Smiths were married. In the world of covert ops, that's unacceptable. Two operatives from rival agencies living under one roof? It's a conflict of interest, a threat. So they planned it. Leak Benjamin's location, assign both John and Jane to take him out, and let them destroy each other in the process. John pulls the van over and slams the brakes. Jane searches Benjamin for a tracker and finds one. "They know exactly where we are," she says. Too late. Gunfire rains down from the ridge. A convoy of black SUVs barrels toward them, flanking from both sides. Jane takes the wheel while John returns fire out the back window. Benjamin ducks, trying not to get hit by stray rounds. It's chaos again. But now the Smiths are perfectly in sync. They jump a guardrail, crash through a chain-link fence, and disappear into a construction site. There they regroup. Covered in dust and bruises, they realize they'll never be safe if they run. John turns to Jane. "We don't hide, we end this." She nods. Together. They lock and load, prepping for the next wave. Because this isn't just about survival anymore. It's about taking back control of their lives and their marriage. John and Jane prepare for the final play in a dusty, dimly lit hideout. No more running, no more second guessing. They're going to war, not just with their former agencies, but with the lies that have haunted their entire relationship. Their plan? Use Benjamin the Tank Dan's as a bargaining chip. He's the reason their lives were turned upside down, so now he'll be the reason they get them back. They contact both agencies anonymously, sending a clear message: "We have your asset. We know everything. Come for us, and he dies. The response? Silence, followed by a full-blown strike team deployed within the hour. But the Smiths are ready. As SUVs surround their location, Jane mans the perimeter with scoped rifles and motion sensors. John rigs explosive traps and fallback routes inside the warehouse. Every corner becomes a kill zone. Every beam and ledge, an advantage. Still zip-tied in a chair, Benjamin watches it all unfold with quiet amusement. "You two are terrifying," he mutters. John just smirks. "We're in marriage counseling." Then, the siege begins. A tactical team breaches the front. Jane drops the first two operatives before they clear the doorway. John engages the second wave from a rooftop catwalk, repelling bullets with shrapnel-proof panels. They're outnumbered, outgunned, but not outmatched. Amid the chaos, Benjamin tries to escape. Big mistake. Jane catches him mid-sprint and tackles him into a stack of crates. "Sit down," she snarls, "or I'll make you bait." The Smiths hold their ground, slowly thinning the enemy ranks. They make it clear between headshots, dodge rolls, and explosive distractions. This married couple is more lethal than any two-man team ever trained. But it's not just about firepower. It's about trust. When John runs out of ammo, Jane tosses him a fresh clip without even looking. When Jane gets pinned, John dives into the open to pull her out. They don't talk. They don't hesitate. They just move as one. As the final attacker falls, silence returns. The warehouse is a wreck, but they're alive. They made it. They face Benjamin one last time. "Why us?" Jane asks. He sighs. "Because love makes you sloppy." At least that's what they thought. But they were wrong. Love didn't make them weak. It made them unstoppable. Sirens wail in the distance. Reinforcements are coming. But the Smiths already know what to do. They torch the evidence, load Benjamin into a decoy vehicle, and vanish into the night. This fight may be over, but their marriage, that's just getting started. Back in the same office where it all began, John and Jane sit side by side, once again facing their marriage counselor. But this time they're not distant, awkward, or faking it. They're bruised, bandaged, and beaming. "How's the marriage?" the counselor asks gently. John leans back, grinning. "Explosive." Jane chuckles. "But better. They've survived a full-scale war, a double betrayal, and a mission that should have ended in mutual destruction. And through it all, they rediscovered what brought them together in the first place. Not just chemistry, but trust, honesty, and oddly enough, synchronized gunplay. In a rare moment of peace, they take a moment to reflect. John admits that he never actually studied engineering. He faked his background at MIT. Jane confesses she never cooked a single meal in their marriage. It was always catered. "Your meatloaf?" John asks. "Never existed," she smirks. They laugh, this time genuinely, but the past isn't done with them yet. As they drive home in a borrowed minivan, they spot 3 black sedans tailing them. No logos, no plates, just bad intentions. Jane's eyes meet John's in the rearview mirror. No words needed, game time. She hits the gas while John loads their weapons. The Smiths weave through traffic, trading fire with their pursuers. Jane's driving is lethal. John's aim is dead on. When Jane's clip runs dry, John hands her his backup without looking. She reloads mid-drift. They wipe out all 3 sedans in less than 2 minutes. It's poetry in motion, chaos, and chemistry colliding. Later, they regroup with Eddie, their only remaining ally. He confirms what they already suspected. Both agencies have burned them. There's no going back, but Eddie gives them a choice: disappear separately or keep fighting as a team. Without hesitation, they choose each other. They hatch one last plan: to use Benjamin as a bargaining chip, not just for leverage, but as proof. Proof that they have beaten the system. Proof that 2 assassins can share a mortgage and still survive. They deliver Benjamin, extract confessions, and erase their digital footprints. There will be no more targets and no more orders. Just them, cut to weeks later. It's a hardware store in the suburbs. John is picking out power tools, and Jane is comparing curtain samples. A clerk asks if they need help. They both smile politely. "No," Jane replies. "We've got it." And they do. Because now their biggest mission isn't survival. It's staying married. Together. Mr. and Mrs. Smith wasn't just a blockbuster. It was a full-throttle mix of marriage counseling and mayhem, and critics were here for it. Variety raved it was a slick, stylish blend of romance and action, with undeniable chemistry between Pitt and Jolie. Legendary critic Roger Ebert called it an explosive fusion of screwball comedy and high-octane espionage, powered by two magnetic stars. Empire magazine said it best: sexy, funny, chaotic, in the best possible way. Even Rotten Tomatoes admitted, the plot may be ridiculous, but the performances, hot-blooded and irresistible. And the New York Times? They described it as a wild ride where marital problems turn into bullet-fueled foreplay. That's not a metaphor, that's the plot. Brad Pitt dropped out, and Nicole Kidman was originally set to play Jane. But when casting fell apart, everything changed. Until Angelina Jolie stepped in and Pitt came back on board. And yes, it's true. The on-screen chemistry was more than just acting. Filming sparked the now infamous real-life romance between Pitt and Jolie, which made every glance, kiss, and explosion feel dangerously real. Bonus fact: a 10-minute mall shootout scene featuring the Smiths blasting their way through an entire shopping center was shot but cut from the final release. Imagine Die Hard meets Date Night. John and Jane Smith went from perfect strangers to perfect partners, first in marriage, then in mayhem. What started as a fabricated romance quickly spiraled into a high-stakes game of secrets, sabotage, and survival. But in the end, it wasn't their agencies or weapons that saved them. It was trust. Absolute, unfiltered, earned trust. They fought, chased, and nearly destroyed each other, and somehow became stronger. Their story proves that even in a world of lies, love, if it's real, can be the deadliest weapon of all. So what happens when your spouse becomes a trained assassin? You lean in, lock and load, and figure it out together. If you enjoyed this roller coaster of bullets and banter, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. More epic movie recaps are coming soon, and you don't want to miss them.